I'm going to show you how to strum using the knowledge you just gained in Lesson 2 about counting. Alright? You're going to need to understand how to strum with different beats, different counts. Alright? So let's go through this. I'm going to use a G chord here. It doesn't really matter what I use, what chord I use. In the other examples down the page I will use specific chords, but for the first one I just want to use any old chord will do. I'm going to use the G chord. Hey, notice I'm using the 4-finger version of the G chord. Alright? Also, it's more and more common in songbooks that you may pick up at the store these days that we have what's called rhythm slashes to teach you the rhythm. And so you notice I've used what are called rhythm slashes here. Whole notes and half notes end up with a diamond-shaped head, and then the quarter notes and eighth notes end up with just a slash mark. That's where this gets its name, rhythm slashes. Alright? So the first thing you see there, a diamond, really indicates that you're going to strum a whole note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we go. Next we have two half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and next we have quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to notice that up until now, with whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes, all of my strums were down strums. And that's important. Throughout music, you will usually always want to strum down on the beat, on the number. Okay? But next we're going to get into eighth notes. And what we're going to do is basically alternate picking, only it's alternate strumming. Down, up, down, up, down, up. We've done a little bit of this in the past, but I want you to understand it better from a counting point of view. And also I want you to understand now with this lesson how important it really is to maintain the down-up, whether you're actually hitting the strings or not. In some of these examples, we'll actually be skipping beats, so you won't be hitting the strings. Alright? In exercise 2, first I'm just going to strum it without changing chords. I'll just hang on to the G chord. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? Now I'll change chords. It doesn't really matter what chords we play here. I still want you to focus on the strumming. Okay? I'm going to play G, C, D, and G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? I kept a nice even pace over here. Your strumming hand is essentially your metronome. So you want to follow it. When it comes to playing chords and making the chord change on time, your left hand, your fret hand, has to listen to its boss, the strumming hand, the fretting hand, or the picking hand. Okay? The picking hand is the boss. You've got to try to keep in time with it. Alright? When you're playing a song for a friend, they're going to forgive you a little bit if you mess up the fretting hand, if you mess up the chord and don't play the chord just quite right. But if you mess up the rhythm, it's kind of irritating to people. Okay? The rhythm in the initial stages of playing guitar is more important. You really want to get used to keeping that rhythm nice and solid. Alright? If that means you have to change chords a little early to get your fingers there on time, that's fine. Another thing you might decide to do is slow your tempo down. Instead of trying to strum the song like this, maybe you need to strum it like this, okay, until you build up your speed. It would be great to have a metronome to work with, alright? Okay, exercise 3, we're going to start strumming eighth notes but skipping beats. Notice I'm going to skip the beat 1 and, the and of 1, we're going to skip that one. So here's how this is going to sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? You want to get that nice even pattern. Just like that. Exercise 4, we're going to skip another beat. We're going to skip that same 1 and, but we're also going to skip beat 3. This is a very important strumming pattern. It's very, very common. The Eagles used it a lot. It's the basic beat in Brown Eyed Girl. It goes like this. 1, 2, and 4, and. Okay? It's a little tricky at first, so what you might need to do is play that measure, and then pause, and then play the measure again. Don't try to run a whole bunch of measures together until you're sure you can do one measure exactly right. 1, 2, and 4, and. Okay? Notice that on the and 4, and, I had to start with an upstroke because we skipped beat 3. Remember, we played down on the beats, up on the ands. And that's a little bit tricky, but that's the key. There will be songs you'll try to play later in life where if you're not doing this right, you won't be able to play the song right. Okay? You've got to get the down-up thing. You've got to learn how to skip beats. It takes some work. It's tricky. It's frustrating, but you can do it. Just work at it a bit. All right? So here we go. Exercise 4. 1, 2, and 4, and. 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 Okay? That pattern over and over and over is a very, very common pattern. Right? Okay, exercise 5. We're going to skip yet another beat. This time we're going to skip the beat 1 and, the and of 1, and 3 and, the and of 3. So we're going to end up with this. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 1. Okay? 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Alright? Pretty common pattern. You want to understand how to strum these beats. You want to understand the importance of the down, up on the eighth notes, and then the fact that you're going to be skipping some of them. And in many of the rhythms that you learn as a guitar player, you're just going to be skipping. In one song, you'll be skipping these beats. In another song, you'll be skipping those beats. Alright? But this is the basis. You've got to get that down, up. Alright?